So hello guys, in our previous video we have seen about this products increment and decrement stuff, okay, and also this remove button was working, you can see. So now in today's video what we are gonna learn is about the forms, about this registration form, okay. Why it is not working? So let's go to our VS Code, and here we will create an app named accounts. So let's create an app by typing this python manage.py start app, and the name you want to give to that name, that app. uh, I will give accounts and enter. So you can see here that we have created an app named accounts. And first of all, when you create any app, then you have to register in settings.py. So here just type accounts, okay, so that our app has been registered. Mm, mm, mm. Okay, so I have made a doc file that includes all the necessary changes for this accounts app related, okay. So first of all we have to add accounts in our settings.py, okay. Don't worry guys, I will share this doc file with you so that uh, it would become easier for you to create an app, because in this video we are gonna cover a new concept for the forms that is very difficult in the sense which is very lengthy to understand. uh, so I have made this video as much easier to understand, okay. So now we have to add this path inside our grid cards URL, okay. So let's go to our grid cards URLs. Here we have to add a path for grid cards for accounts accounts.url, okay. And now this path is saying that whatever comes with this URL accounts, then send it to accounts URL. So inside accounts we don't have URL. Let's create one new file, urls.py. Inside urls.py, inside accounts urls.py, we are gonna create three URLs, that is register, login and logout, okay. So now what this will do, after accounts, if URL contains this register, then go to views register function. So inside views we don't have any functions yet, so let's create those functions. Models, okay, these models we have to create, but before that I think views, let me just create the views. Let's go step by step, okay. So we have created a views. So now first of all Just forget about the forms and let's check if it is working or not. Just comment it out, whole register. Now what is happening? URL is here, this URL is here, function is here, okay, and we don't have register, okay. Missing two. What's the error? Mm, mm, Cannot import user profile, okay. We don't want this all. Just comment it out. Views.register, we don't have register yet. Let's create for just example, for just testing purpose, register. So now what this view is saying that if this register function runs, then the request will be passed to this register.html inside accounts. But inside a template, we don't have any accounts file. So let's create that file. Where it is? Here. Inside this template, we have to create a new folder named accounts, and inside that accounts we are gonna create another file, new file named register.html. Also let's create login and logout as well, login.html and logout.html. Inside this register we are just testing, so you can type whatever you want for now. Suppose register here, let's say login page, and inside logout let's say logout page. Now let's see what is happening. Let's go to our website, accounts, register. So you can see this page is working for perfectly. We have this register.html rendered, and what about login and logout? Login is also working, and same for the logout page, okay. And URL contains this accounts and logout, okay. So that was the main functionality. So now let's delete this register and go back to our original register form. Don't worry guys, I will explain all of this code line by line. Don't worry about that. Forms, okay, so we have to create forms later. So let's go to our this. So in models we have to create user profile, so that's why I have kept this before. So inside of models.py, in models.py let's define a class, new class. Okay, so we have created this user profile class, and just keep this thing in your mind that we are using Django's inbuilt user model for our form. Okay, so inside this user we already have a first name, last name, email and a password field, but we don't have this phone number field. So if we want to add another extra fields in our form, okay, so that we have to create another class and create this kind of a field that we want. I know it is very complex to understand uh, now for you guys, but don't worry. When I will explain, then it will become much easier for you. So now just mm, let's move further. So we have this user profile, and inside model we have created this. Also we have to register it in our admin.py. This is the basic process you all guys know, I hope. And in admin.py, inside admin.py, let's register this. We have registered our user profile, and forms.py we have to create one another file inside this accounts app, new file named forms. That is the main concept, this forms. That forms we have never seen before in our previous videos. So that is the main complex part that we have. Here we have created registration form. Okay, let me finish all the code related work. Okay, so now what we want is this register.html. Inside that register.html we don't have anything right now, okay, except this. But we don't want that our registration form will look like this. So just delete it and use that particular template for the register that we have downloaded. I think inside our template, that create card template file. I will also share the drive link for this templates. Don't worry, guys. This register.html. Let's copy. So first of all, just like our previous videos, let's extend base.html. Okay, and load static. Okay, now what we want, block content. Okay, so inside our block content, uh, actually in our base.html you can see that we have footer, navbar, it means header. Okay, we have footer and header in our base.html, so we don't want any footer and header right now. So let's remove this header where it ends here. So here our section starts and this section ends. Okay, copy all the section content and footer that we have already inside our base.html. So let's copy and paste this. So now I think all the code we have added successfully. Just one thing we have to perform, that is make migrations, because we have created this inside our models.py. So when we create another class in models.py, let's we have to make migrations. Python manage.py make migrations. Okay, create a model user profile, and also we have to migrate migrate. Now let's start server. Now see what happens. Admin panel, you can see this user profiles is here. Okay, we don't have any profile right now, but inside user we have this default user, super user that we have created already. So now let's go to our this file. What is left in this register.html? Okay, so this is the last one. Let me check if it is same or not. Okay, that we have to add in. So let's try to open a register page. So you can see this form. This is our inside our this form is coming from our template that we have rendered here inside our register.html. Okay, these all fields are inside our template. You can see male female and city, country, choose Russia, Uzbekistan, United States. That all things are in our register.html, but we don't want this much, this city and country, and we don't want this all. So what we will do, that we have created a form. Okay, we have already created a form here, where it is forms.py. This registration form which has basically this first name, last name, email and password. Okay, and also phone number. So why here we haven't mentioned the phone number? Because we are basically uh, giving a base as a user as a base. So inside this meta class we have to define from which base model we are gonna create this form. So in this condition we are gonna create a form with the base of our Django's user model, which contains these all fields, and for our phone number we have to define it like this. Okay, and this password and confirm password is nothing but this password we already have. Okay, this password we already have, but this confirm password we don't have, so that we have also created another field. And why this password is created again? Because inside this Django's default password field we don't have this password input and all, because what this password contain is text type, input type text. If you remember that inside our form, in any form we have to give this kind of input, and this input type should be password for all the passwords, but in the Django by default it is text. So that we have converted this text to a password, input type text to password by doing this. Don't get stuck with this coding stuff, just remember this, that this widget means whatever you add here inside this input, like this class and type and all these are widgets. Okay, and this placeholder also we can define here. So now this all form, don't worry about this, I will explain all the things one by one, all of this file, don't worry. I am just having a look on this, so just don't get confused. Okay, so now let's inside our register.html. mm, where is form? Here is form, and here is form. Let's use our created form. Here we don't want this form, so we want like this. Just use form right now. This form we have passed inside our views. You can see registration form. This form is equal to registration form request.POST. Okay, and also in else condition we have this form variable, and inside this form variable we are passing all the registration form details. In this condition we don't have, but in this condition we have all the details. Okay, so here we are passing that form and basically using it in our registered HTML. Let's see what happens now. Now you can see this first name, last name, email, password, confirm password, and phone number is here. But this first name, last name, email is came from our register.html, not from form that we have created. Okay, and we don't want this all. We don't want this all fields. I think it should be like form.sp. So what this will do? Actually, when I was practicing, this form didn't look wasn't look like this. It was totally uneven. Like this last name is here and this email address is overlapping here and all things. So when we use this as p, it means as paragraph. So then these all fields will in the new paragraph. Okay, like this. So just use this. So now we don't want this all fields. We don't want this all fields. So we have to delete this and just keep here these things that we want. So for that, uh, I have also that code. See guys, you can copy and paste the code, but you have to understand the logic behind this. Okay, that what is going. So don't just blindly copy this code. And so let's go. I think it is a view. This is our register. So what I have done is form action URL register. Okay, here we are gonna replace whole form by this. Okay, this form. So what this form is saying that action is equal to the URL register. Okay, so when we submit the form, then this URL should be executed. Okay, and CSRF token is should be there because method is post now. We don't have any method right now, but we have to give it like this post. And this first name, here we have first name, here also we have first name, and instead of this input type text and all, just use this form dot first name. Okay, just use this form dot first name. I know guys, it is very complicated. You have to see this video more than 2 times because this I also got confused and this forms related stuff. Actually, it took me around 1.5, not 1.5, actually 2 days to understand all this form related stuff. So I am trying my best to educate you, to teach you whatever I have learned in the easiest way. Okay. Mm, I have watched many tutorials for this form, and after that, after watching hours of tutorials, I am making this video as much as easier it is possible. So let's here form dot first name we have. Don't worry, I will explain all of things later. Just complete our first code related stuff. Form group we have div, okay. Class column form last name we have instead of this input just use this, and div column, okay. So now first name last name email, first name last name and email, where it is in email we have this form group, and why here we have used a form row column form group, type email, just a second. Let's delete, let's replace all this email div from this phone number, email and phone number is there, okay. I think we have to replace all this. Just delete all whole this div and paste this one. Email and phone number is here. Form dot email, form dot phone number. Okay. Now let's go to this form group. Email and phone completed. Now create password, repeat. Now let's use this create and repeat password. We don't want this male, female, city, country. We don't want this. So just delete this, and also male female related this one also delete it. Now let's copy and paste it here. We have create and okay. So we have this create password and repeat password. Now we don't want this now. Create and repeat. So instead of this input, we have just used this form dot password and confirm password. Okay, just like the above fields. Uh, Here submit form submit button is here, form group submit button primary register. Okay, so just keep this as it is, and form also add this condition after the submit button, after this register button, and form article div and have an account login, and this just keep this. Okay, so now we have completed the form. Let's refresh it. Why it is not changing? What is causing the error? Let's restart the server. Not register but accounts and register. Don't know what is happening. First name. Okay, so just delete this one. Delete this form as it was just for you guys to understand how things are working. Just delete it. So now we have perfect form. Okay, this was just for you to understand that also we can use this kind of things. Okay, but now we already giving this form fields from the form. Okay, inside this instead of input. Let's check the mail address, whatever you want. Password, let's say 1212. uh, let's see what happens. Why it haven't created, it wasn't created, don't know. mm I think something is missing, so let me just check. Okay, so we had make one big mistake in this, that we don't have defined any action after the submit button. So let's define this action is equal to URL register and method should be post. Okay, so that this CISRF token should be there, and now it's perfect. Let's sorry for this background noise. Actually, there is a uh, some carpentering work is uh, doing uh, in front of my house, so just ignore that sound. let's focus on this. Now let's create a password. So now you can see we are redirecting to this login page. It means that we have successfully created a user, created an user. Let's refresh this. So here you can see this user has been created. Okay, username is this and first name, last name, email. Okay, and we don't have any phone number in this. Why? Because this is Django's default user. You can see this authentication and authorization means it is by default by Django. Here user is given by Django, and inside that user we don't have any phone number field. Okay, for that we have created this accounts app, and inside that account we have created this user profile. Inside this we have phone number. All the extra fields we have inside this user profile that we have added in this where it is here. Okay, so basically we are giving here for one-to-one field for the user, that this particular user belongs to sorry, this uh, user profile uh, ID belongs to this user. Let's go to our table user profile. You can see the ID of this object inside user profile is 1, and which is sorry 7. This is because I have practiced before 2 6 and now it is 7. Again when I delete this and add another user profile item, then it will like 8. Okay, so now let me explain the whole flow, that what is going here. That login page was rendered because inside our views, after successful validation, we are redirecting to login page. Okay, in this condition, that's why we have been redirected to login page. So let me explain this one by one. They remove this. Actually, in this code, I have commented out the before version, like it contains this form sp and all the fields that were existed in uh, register.html, and after that I have replaced it with another form which is our current version, so don't get confused. Okay, this is just for testing. You can also test this one. So first of all, let's go to our forms. Okay, so inside our forms, inside these forms, just close all the things, close to the right, also close these, and let's go to forms. So what is happening here? Django import form auth models import user. So basically this forms means gives you Django form and model form classes. This is by default from Django. From Django we are importing these forms. Inside these forms we have a model form and all the form related things. So we have to import this form when we are creating any form like this. Also, we are importing the user model from the Django contrib.auth.models, which is also given by Django. Okay, so here you can see this user model is that we are using here as a base. So what happens gives you Django form and model form classes, Django's built-in user model table, auth users. Here you can see admin. Here you can see it is here this user model by Django. So let's go to ChatGPT. What happened? Okay, and create form class. So we have created the form class. The name of the class is registration form. Here we have created this form. Okay, this is the main part. This is the form creation is happening. Okay, so this is form creation process. And what happens, you are creating a form based on a database model. Based on database model means here you are defining base inside this class meta, and since it inherits from model form, Django can automatically create form fields from a model without a model form. Okay, so here you can see this model form. This registration form is inherited from this model form. Okay, and this model form was by default given by Django. So Django can automatically create form fields. Which form fields? This form fields, that is like username, password, first name, last name, email, also username and password. Okay, this was by default inbuilt by Django. So without model form, we have to define all the fields like this. If we haven't used this model form, forms.model form and normal form, then we have to define all the fields like this. But with model form, Django reads the user model and creates fields automatically. Which user model? Which is inbuilt by Django. So this first name, last name, email, all the fields were automatically created by the Django. So now what is this password field is? So password is equal to forms.char field, widget is forms.password input, attributes, placeholder, enter password. So basically what is happening, normally inside our form we have something like this, input type tags. Okay, but by using this password input changes it to input type password. This type text was converted to type password, so character became this hidden format instead of this normal text. And placeholder means what? I think you already know what placeholder stands for. It is something like this. When you have nothing filled in this place, then this enter first name you can see is the placeholder. and here enter last name is the placeholder. Okay, so inside password, here enter password is the placeholder. Here you can see enter password. Okay, so confirm password, also inside confirm password we have placeholder for confirm password. Okay, and confirm password form dot careful widget, you have to remember all this code. Okay, don't get stuck with understanding of this code, just remember this. And widget is equal to form dot password input attributes placeholder confirm password. This field does not exist in the user model. This confirm password we don't have. See, here we only had this password, we don't have any confirm password. So what happens if we don't have any field, then it will create, and if we already had, then it will update it, it will be updated. What is in our update, like it is updating these attributes and the type of input, like from text to password. And this confirm password was never existed. Okay, so this confirm password is being created now, and also this phone number is being created because we don't have any phone number yet inside this by default users that we have created in user profile. So this field does not exist in user model, you added it manually. So basically we are adding these three fields manually, not this, but we are updating this password and adding these two. Okay, if this password was not available in user, then it will be created, but we already had, then it will be just updated. Okay, so this field does not exist in the user model, you added it manually. Purpose is password confirm password, then compare both later, we will come on this later. So phone number is form dot care field max length 50, again this field is not in user model. Okay, you added it manually. Okay, later you will save it in user profile dot phone number. You can see inside our user profile we have the phone number. Okay, that's what it is saying. And meta class model user means this form is based on user model. Just remember the use of this meta class is that we are saying that the form is based on user model. If this form was based on another model, like our custom created model, then that custom created model name should be here. Okay, but now we are using Django's user model, so that we are typing here user as a base, and these fields came from this user. Whatever uh, whatever the field inside this user we have, that we are gonna use in this registration form. So see, if we have all this field in user, but we haven't defined it here, like this, we we only defined this first name, then what will happen? uh, let's see what happens. I think some error should be there. Okay, key error, you can see. So basically what I am trying to say is, if we want to use all the whatever field available in user, then we have to define it here. Okay, so don't forget to define the fields here if we want to use it, otherwise it is okay. If we don't want to use, now it is okay. So Django automatically creates this forms field, automatically create this forms field that we have defined here, and which is came from Django's default user table, user model. Okay, so Django automatically creates this form field, and because they exist in user model. Okay, form field summary. After Django process everything, first name from user, last name from user, email from user, password, your custom field. Why your custom field? Because you can see we have defined it here. Confirm password is also custom field, and phone number is also custom field. And this clean email means what? Now this is very important to understand what this clean email method. So this is special Django method which runs automatically when form is valid executed. Basically what is happening, let's go to our views. So if this when we submit this form inside our request.post, we have all of this data from the form, okay, which is basic thing, and inside that request.post we have all the data. So now when we click on this, the register URL will run, and this that URL was trying to run this function. So this function will be executed, and the request.method is post. We already have this inside register.html. You can see method is post. So let's go to views. Sorry, not this one, here. So now this condition will become true, and inside a form, like we are creating the object. This we are creating the object named a form for the registration form by this request dot post. What is happening? This is nothing but just object creation process. Okay, so just remember this for now. I will come on this. And so this if form dot is valid means what? This uh, this will basically what way this will do is validates all the data that is came from request.post. Inside request.post we have something like a dictionary. In the dictionary format, like first name is whatever we have entered, last name is whatever we have entered, and email is here, and okay, like that. So inside that dictionary format, this form this method is validating all the things that came from request.post. And what validation means? It means it will check if this first name is okay or not. Like suppose we have given some validation here. I think it should be some here something we are not using right now, but just for example, if we have validation of this first name, like so first letter should be capital or something, or this phone number should not be any character. Let's take what happens. It is working, but we can give validation for this phone number, like it should be only integer. Okay, so if we enter another uh, type of type of input, then it will give a false here. Where here, this is basically returning false and true. Okay, return true if the form has no error, or false otherwise. Okay, you can see here, if form has any error, then this will become true, sorry, false. And if form is complete, okay, form is form data is totally fine, then this will return true. And when this runs, this form dot is valid execute, then Django automatically call this method clean email and clean. Just remember this, when this form dot is valid is called, this is automatically called by Django. Only this clean, not, you cannot give any other name than this clean, like this or anything. You have to give particular clean method. Okay, and also this clean email for the email validation. So inside clean, we are defining a variable cleaned data. So inside cleaned data, what this super dot clean mean? This super dot clean will give you a dictionary, I guess. Let me go to that explanation. Forms clean where it is. Another special method runs automatically during after individual field validation. You can see after a validation it will run and call parent clean. Here it is calling a super dot clean. Django collects validated data. So this data, this is in the dictionary form, and the super dot clean contains all the data and pass it to clean the data. Okay, if it is validated, if only it is validated, then this will run, this all will run if it is true. So inside this cleaned data we have this dictionary, and password, inside password we are basically getting password from this cleaned data, this cleaned data, this password we are getting here. And same for the confirm password, this confirm password, this all data came from our form. Don't forget, these all things are happening after submitting this form. So all of this data were came from the form. Okay, so get confirm password, and confirm password is here. So now after this we have password and confirm password inside this variable. So now this condition is confirming this password and confirm password. If it is okay, if this password is not equal to confirm password, then this error will be raised. Let's check it. Let's check this. Password is suppose something. Let's keep this. So you can see this password does not match messages here. Why? Because we have raised this validation error. Password does not match error inside our form. So inside form, this error was raised by this code. Also, it is not something like that we have, if we have raised then it will appear here, but we have to add another code here that we have already added. If you guys remember, inside our register.html we had something like this form.error and all of this. So loops this loop uh, I mean this loop and condition, this is our error related section. I will come on this later. Just remember that this, because of this we are seeing this. Okay, so now if this password and confirm password is same, then this will become false and it will return a cleaned data. It means this cleaned data. Okay, and this that cleaned data, uh, that cleaned data contains all the things like this. Okay, so now what is happening here, this is for our email validation. Basically what it means, so now uh, we have cleaned data now. Okay, first this method will execute and then it will come to this. So first we have this cleaned data inside this variable, and now from that cleaned data we are getting email. Okay, you can see the self means object, and object we have created here, form. Okay, so form is object here, and here self form will become self. So form dot clean the data dot get, something like that. Okay, don't just get confused. So in email variable, let's see where it is. Email. So this clean email Django special method runs automatically when this executed. Okay, but after that clean method, get email. So suppose user enters this kind of email. Okay, then email will be there. So from that dictionary we have the email key, and the value of that key was something that we have entered here. It will pass to this email variable, and inside this email variable we have the email that user has entered here. Now we want to create a username from this email. Okay, so now what we want, username should be something before the at the rate. Before this at the rate, whatever here is available, store it as a username that we want basically. So here we are splitting the email string. This email is stored as a string, and we are splitting that email string by this at the rate. Okay, by this at the rate. So in so it will return a list of this element and this element. Basically we are splitting by at the rate. If we are splitting something like what we can say, something we have, suppose hashtag, and if we have typed here hashtag, then it will something like this. Now this will become two part, this one and this one, after this and before this. Okay, so before at the rate we have this, and we want this as our username. So this part will return a list. Okay, this part will return a list of two elements. One is before element, one is after this at the rate. Before at the rate, after at the rate. These two elements are inside that list, which is returned by this. So inside that list, from that list, we want a first element. So that's why we have typed here 0. This is basically list indexing. If you guys know, if your Python is very strong, then list indexing the first element will be as a zeroth index. So that's why we are basically accessing the first element and give it to the username. Okay, so inside username we have this, inside email we have all this email. So if user.objects.filter, what we are saying that if this email already exists in our user, now let's see it practically. uh, in user we have this email. Okay, so in user model we have already this email available, and now if we create another uh, user by that email, then see what happens. You can see accounts with this email already exist. That's because of this validation error, because it this is what is happening. It is filtering that particular object from user model which has email is something same as this email. Okay, so if this exists, then this will return true and it will go to this error. Also for the username, suppose we have this email. Okay, but let's change here. Let's change after the at the rate. We have made changes. So now what happens? This part is same. Okay, so username should be same, but email is different. So let's see what happens. You can see account with this username already exists. So it has been filtered from the user table. Okay, and if this there is no error, there is completely new email and user, then it will create. Okay, then it will return email. So here after this, this will execute. Now we have email and this cleaned data as user has in typed, because we don't have any error. If we had any error, then it will be executed here. Okay, so now let's go move forward. Username and split. You can see this string is converted to list and we are taking this zeroth object. Okay, username the check email exist, select Django checks where email from user, where email is available or not. If found, raise error and check username exists. If already exists, then it will again raise error. Return email. Django stores it inside a clean the data email. Clean another special method. Okay, that we have already seen that it will run when this executed. Call parent clean. Django collects validated data and password and all. Compare it. Password doesn't match. Return clean the data. Return final clean the dictionary. runs whenever object is created. So this init is what? If you know that when we create any object of the class, then this init method, init constructor runs. Okay, so here we are creating an object of the registration form class, of this registration form class. Then this init method will be executed. Here this is nothing but this is just for setting the placeholders and css of the our fields, like this form control. This is our bootstrap class. This is just for our css purpose, so don't stuck here. Okay, just remember this. So let me explain this. Parent constructor super.init, this creates all form of fields. Self.fields would not exist. So inside these fields, we basically have that dictionary. Okay, and from that dictionary, which dictionary that we have seen here, this one. Inside our fields we have all the fields in the dictionary form, and from that fields we are accessing this first name. Okay, so first name, and the placeholder for that first name we are setting is like enter first name. This will executed uh, every time when user is submitting form. Okay, that's why we have kept inside this init method, so that it will always execute when we create a new user. Okay, so what is happening here? For field in self dot fields, inside self dot fields, on this self dot fields we are applying a for loop, and for the first element we have this first name element. Okay, so that element here we are setting the class attribute as a form control. Basically this by performing this, after execution of this, it will create something like this internally. So placeholder has been set by this line for the first name, and same for the other fields, same for last name, email, and phone number, you can see. And bootstrap class, so this is for bootstrap class, which loops through first name, last name, email, password, confirm password, and phone number. Inside in this field, self dot fields, we have all these kind of fields in dictionary format that I have seen. I have told you guys. You can see like this. We have all these things in our self dot fields. Okay, so that on that dictionary we are basically applying a for loop, and the first element of that dictionary is something like first name. So for the first name, it will set class attribute is equal to form control, and same for other fields. All of these fields, it will set something like this: class is equal to form control. Internally, these all things are happening internally. We don't have to type one by one like this. Now, that's the benefit of using the forms. Bootstrap styles it nicely. Styles means this, you can see this blue border and all. So that is the basic CSS. Complete flow, when this runs, if form is valid, Django automatically does create a form object. Init runs. When this runs, then automatically init will run and validates individual fields like this. Like this form dot is valid will run, then automatically this clean methods are running. Okay, you can see clean email and clean, this also runs automatically. So just remember, this clean method will run first, after that this clean email should be run. Okay, so just remember. And create form dot clean the data. Here we have clean the data. This clean data came from this method. Okay, so that it will run first before this clean method, because in this method we are using clean data and this clean data came from this method. Okay, so this should be run first. And this form dot clean data, we have dictionary example like this. If no error, so if no error, then this form dot is valid returns true, otherwise false. And error appears in form dot errors. Okay, all of the errors will appear in this form dot errors. This is the exact flow Django follows behind the scenes when a registration form is validated. So I have asked the ChatGPT that this is it because of redefined model, this class registration form dot model. So here you can see Django reads the user model and create field automatically. Then I have asked ChatGPT that is it because of this class meta, or yeah, is it because of this class meta, but more specifically because your form inherits from this. So that basically it is saying that uh, all these two things are important, like model is equal to user should is important, and also that model forms dot model form. This one, this one is important, and this one is also important. That's why all the field we can use from Django's default user model. Is it used to update existing field and create a new field? Okay, so this password field that we have defined here. So this will update the existing password field inside a Django so user model. That's the thing here is happening. So if you guys have query of these fields, you can see inside self.fields we have something like this that I have told you. Okay, it will contain something like this. And what is widget attribute? This widget attribute, like every form field has a widget. Use a widget similar to this. I think this is called widget type and all that we are setting here. This dictionary containing HTML attributes for the widget. So by using this widget dot attribute, will something might look like this in the dictionary form, like this. Okay, that's why we have used here dictionary. You can see placeholder and confirm password so that it will change or add in this dictionary. So all of this the small things you can learn from ChatGPT also. Let's finish this. Mm, so I hope you got this forms.py. Let's move further. So here we are basically going to views. Inside views, suppose let's go to imports. This all things is very basic. Let's skip this. We are importing all the things necessary things. User render redirect registration form from the forms and user profile from the models. So inside this user, this is built in a user model and the model already contains these fields. From dot forms import your class and user model custom profile model, probably something like this. Okay. Register view, whenever user visits register, this function runs that we have seen already. Whenever we access our URL like this, register, then this function runs. And if request.method is post, which is already, did user submit the form first, visit user open, and this and method is get, so this condition is false. So before submitting this, when user open this URL, so now it is a get request. Okay, in the first place it is method is set to get by default. So this condition is false. Which condition? Here, this condition is false, so it will go skip all the code, this all code, and here inside else this will execute, like form is equal to registration form, but we are not passing any data here to the registration form. Why? Because we haven't filled any data. Okay, so after clicking submit, browser sends post. After filling this data, and when we click on this register button, then the post request uh, will be sent. Okay, and condition becomes true. And if condition becomes true, this condition becomes true, it will go to inside this, like it will create an object with the data that we have entered, and this data is we are passing to this registration form. Okay, so when this object is created, this will executed, this will be executed in its constructor. And this was also uh, being executed when this condition was false. Why? Because in that condition we also have created this object. Okay, so after creation of this object, this code will be executed, and all the CSS related stuff we can see here for the get request to all the CSS is here. Okay, that's why, because of this code. So creates form object and fills it with submitted data. Suppose user entered this data, and then request.POST contains this in the dictionary form. If form is valid, this is where Django starts validation. So now it will go to this. Now we have created object with the data, and now it will go to this. Form is valid. So this is where Django starts validation. Django automatically does field validation checks. This valid method is what this is basically doing validation automatically, like require fields, max length, email format. If we have given this kind of validation, like max length and all, inside our form, we haven't set that max length and all. But if we have set this, that max length and all, this kind of like format should be email and all, then all the validation will be checked with the help of this method. Okay, then Django automatically calls these clean methods if you created them. Also, this clean method is called this is called first actually. After that, these all methods run. Okay. Your customer validation, example password, confirm password, and inside this clean and clean email, all the method we have that validation for password, confirm password, and email and username. Okay. So now this will validate if all things are okay, like username is okay, email is okay, username is okay, and password is also same, this both password is also same, then it will not give any error. Okay, if everything pass, then it will become true. What? This valid, this will become true, otherwise false. And if this will become false, then that error was raised. You can see this error was raised. Okay, then it will stop execution for the further code. So now let's go to this first name form date, form clean data. So now after successful validation, now we have that clean data. If you guys remember this clean data, and inside this clean data, with the help of this super.clean, we have that dictionary. Which dictionary? That user has entered okay in the form. So this cleaned data contains all the dictionary, and from that dictionary we are basically accessing the value of this first name key, and that first name key which has some value, and that value was same as the user entered here in the first name. So in the first name we have basically first name, and same for the other fields. We have all the data inside these variables, and these variables we are gonna use here. Okay, and also username is here by using this split and all indexing and all method. Okay, you already know this. So inside this user we are basically creating a user. Get validated value and clean the data. Okay. Dictionary created automatically by Django after validation, and user suppose then email dot split. We have this. Okay. So this will create a new user object. Okay, this will create a new user object inside our user model with the first name of this first name and last name of this, email of this, and password of this. But this phone number should not be there. Why? Because in we are creating a object inside Django's inbuilt user model. But in Django's inbuilt user model, we don't have any phone number field, and we can't give it here. But for that, we can give it to our custom created model user profile. And here you can see this user inside this user profile is connected to this user with a single one-to-one field. Mm, Where is model? Here you can see the user is connected to Django's inbuilt user model with one-to-one field. So it will create a unique users in this user profile, which has only one user available from the user model. Okay, so basically this phone number we are passing here, and this user will be used here as a user inside this user profile. This is one-to-one field. Okay, and then after successful creation, this we will be redirected to login. Okay, that's why we were redirecting to login. Account with email already exists. You can see we have redirected to a login page after successful creation. So first name, last name, username, the email, the password store, very important. You are using create user. Django automatically has password, so database will not store like this. So this create user is I think special method by Django, which automatically has the password. Okay, just remember this. Instead it stores something like okay. After this line, user contain the created user object and user div and user profile dot object create the related profile record. User is user, links between links profile to user. Okay, pro number, phone number, store. So inside our auth user table, now let's go to our database. Inside a user profile, we have created this 1 2 3 4 5 users, and where in, here is the Django's default user model. You can see here ID 1 7 8 9 10 11. So inside a user profile, you can see 7 8 9 10 11. Okay, so basically uh, what is happening here, this user that we have created, this last user, last one, is connected with the 11 number ID in the user. Here you can see. Okay, so this is the first one. We don't have any name. I think this is our super user. Okay, this is super user, you can see, and all of this that we have created now. So this user ID is same as this ID. Okay, user table, deep email is this, user profile table, user ID 5. So this user ID means ID of this user table. Okay, this user ID means these IDs are from this user table. This is the main IDs of the user, and that we are using in our user profile. That these users we are using inside our user profile. Okay, and phone number is there, you can see inside our user profile table. And this id should also be same because it is one-to-one field. So when we create a new user profile, then also user will be created, and also same for the when we create a new user, the user profile will be created with the same id. After successful registration, don't show register page again, instead go to login. Okay, else blog else run when the user open page first time. When we open page first time, then already we have get request, and that post request condition will become false, and this will execute, okay, without any data, because method was get for the first time. Create empty form, final date, final step, account, so return render. After this, for the first time, after this it will return to register.html with the form is form. Okay. So user open register, get request, empty registration form created, register.html displayed. Here register.html displayed when the request it is get, this will execute. So user fills form now and click submit. Now request is post, and registration form request.post is created as an object here, and form is valid, then clean email and clean, first clean and then clean email will run, and other validations. Cleaned data created, this clean data will contain all the data that we have entered in the form. In the dictionary format it will be stored. So this user.objects.create user will create I actually I have one confusion if it is different or not. Let's ask to ChatGPT, is this create user different from create normal create method? Let's see. So create user and create are different, especially when working with Django's built-in user model. So this create will this simply insert data into the database. Problem is here that the password is stored as plain text. So the main reason to use a create user is, I think, the password. Okay, user will not be able to log in using Django authentication because Django expects a hashed password. Okay, so in Django's when we are using Django's inbuilt user, then we have to give password in the hashed form, which is only given by this using this create user. Okay. What will happen internally? Okay, okay. So basically it is for the password field, okay, not more than this. I think we have seen all the, so I think this views we have completed now. Nothing to learn in this view now. So let's go to register.html. Inside our register.html, here you can see, let's start from this form. Okay, So here we have extended base.html, loaded static, and inside this block content we are basically uh, adding this section which contains our form inside this block content. Okay, so first thing is form action. Form tag what it does: when the user click register, the browser sends all form data to the URL named register. Okay, so when user submit the or click on this register button, then this action uh, perform the uh, URL, this register URL. Okay, so this register URL does what? So this register URL will uh, go to register function inside this view, and this function runs. Okay, after pressing this, clicking on this register button, and browser sends all form data to the URL named register. Suppose your urls.py contains actually we have this thing in our URL that we have seen. Okay, then Django converts URL register into register, so the form become form action register. Method is post, and submits to your register view. Okay, so CSRF token is here. Django requires this for post request, and without it there will be error. There will be an error. 403 forbidden. CSRF verification field will occur. So it protects against malicious websites submitting forms on behalf of you, of your users. Okay, so all the cyber attacks and all. So it is important to define CSRF token like this. So first row div class form a bootstrap class for arranging fields in row. This is for a bootstrap class. Okay, first name form dot first name comes from your registration form. Okay, if your form contains a class meta model user field, this Django automatically generates input type text name first name. See guys, what this form dot first name does, it will generate automatically something like this. With your placeholder, enter the first name, and that placeholder came from here. Enter the first name. Okay, so all things are connected, just you have to uh, understand it. So this form dot first name comes from your registration form. Here is our form, and this first name field this first name field is coming from here. You can see in if your form contains this kind of class meta and fields, so Django automatically generates this, and with your placeholder last name, same for the last name, it will generate like this all things inside our form. Okay, remember, we can access it like this. Why? Because inside form we have all the data, and that form is coming from here. Here context. Okay, this dictionary, this form, this form, this form will contain all the data, so that we can access it like this. So it will generate a last name, second row, email, and it will generate email. Phone number will be generated. Field is not part of your Django's user model. Okay, so remember guys, in a user model we don't have any phone number field, so we have created it manually like this inside our form phone number here. Here it is. Inside class registration form we have created manually. Okay. Why? Because the phone number isn't available in our Django's by default user model. So Django renders text and name phone number. Third row password label create password form dot password. Your form contains this. Okay. So because of this code inside our forms, because of this code, the type of this is password instead of text. Okay, instead of actual text, you can see because of this code. Confirm password same as password. Okay, password type is password. Submit button and button primary. Okay, when clicked the browser collects all inputs. When clicked this register button, browser collects all inputs, creates a request.POST, sends post request. Django receives it, register view runs. Okay, so what goes into request.POST? Suppose the user enters this kind of data in the form. So then Django receives request.POST. Okay, when we press the submit button, the register button, then all of this field data will go to request.POST in this form, dictionary form. Okay, now let's go to error. Go to errors inside register.html. If form.errors, if any errors are there, then move further in this code. Okay, form.non-filled error. So if form.error did validation fail? If yes, show error. So I have told you guys that if there is any error, if there is any error like this error or this error happens, then it will not directly show, it will not directly displayed to a user, but because of this code we can see that particular error in our just below our registration form. So what is happening here? This error will first go to forms.error, this forms.error. Okay, and if there is an error, then this will become false. This form dot is valid become false, and it will go to directly this, and you will be not redirected to login. You will be uh, on the same page like register.html. Okay, so non-filled errors, this comes from clean example password. So what is this non-filled error and filled error? Let's go on this. Basically the difference is where the error belongs. This error belongs to specific field. So field error is belongs to a specific field like first name, email. Django validates each field individually. Okay, so first name, this field is required. Email, enter a valid email. These are stored in form.errors. Like first name, this field is required. Suppose we have made this first name field required while creating form. So if user will not type anything inside this and try to submit this, then one error will occur like this field is required. Okay, so this field is required error is happening for this particular field, this first name field, and that will be stored like this. So for in the first name this error is happening. Which error? This field is required type of error. Okay. And in email, if we have done something like email field or whatever while creating the form, then user must have to enter only email here, not any other text. So that enter a valid email address will occurs if user try to enter any other thing. So this kind of errors are related to particular fields like email address and first name. Okay. So for a single field, so that errors are called field errors. Okay. And that all errors were stored inside this field dot errors. And suppose we have already created this clean email. Okay. So what this does, actually the we are basically finding that the particular email is already there or not in the user. So if that email was already in the user table, then this error will be raised, and this error is a field error. Okay. Why? Because it belongs to email field. So Django shows email already exists under the email field. This is a field error. Non-field errors are those do not belong to any single field. Usually they involve multiple fields together. When multiple fields are there and comparing each other, when two fields are comparison of each other, in the comparison of each other, then we can say the error is non-field error. Why? Because neither field is wrong by itself. Suppose we are entering here a password, so just forget about this repeat password. Just suppose we are entering anything inside this, so we actually we can enter anything inside this, which will be okay. But uh, we enter any other thing than this, which is not same as create password, like any other thing, then it will compare these both things and say that password doesn't match. Why? Because this password is not same as this one. But basically this field is okay. Okay. This is not something like that we have to enter only email in this field. We can enter anything inside this, and which is okay, but it should be same as like create password. Okay. I hope you guys got this, that you can enter anything, integer, email, string, and number, anything. Okay. Also same for this field too. But the thing is, this both should be same. This is comparing to this and this one is comparing to this. Okay. So that is the main non-field error, we can say, because these two fields are comparing with each other. It is totally depend on this. Here you can see neither field is wrong by itself. Password is ABC123. Confirm password is XYZ123. Both fields contain valid text. This is also valid and this is also valid. Both are valid. But problem is they don't match. That's the main problem. This error belongs to the whole form, not one field. And this error belongs to whole form. Okay. So inside this clean, you write password is not equal to password, then raise a validation error. So Django stores it as a non-field error. Okay. Basically in this form dot errors, look something like this. Error belongs to a form itself, not to any particular field. In template, for field in a form, let's go to template. So if you guys have any confusion in this, like what is inside this form dot errors and form dot non-fill errors and inside this form, so let's go to here. Basically, inside this form dot errors, we have all the errors like field errors and non-field errors. All the errors inside this form dot errors. Like what is inside form dot errors is so this form dot errors is a dictionary like object containing all validation errors after form is valid. Okay, when this form dot is valid execute, then inside form dot errors we have all the errors like this field wise errors. Suppose user submit first name is empty, email is ABC, password is 123 and confirm password is different than this password. Then validation fails obviously. Why? Because you can see first name is empty, email is not in the email format, for password is 123 but the confirm password is 456, so password isn't matching. So error is happening here. So if we print form dot error, then it might look uh, like this. Like in the first name, this error is happening. In email, this error is happening, and this all means this error is happening in the whole form, not any particular field. That's what we have learned in that non-field error. Like this non-field error is uh, connected to the whole form, not to any particular field. Okay, so inside this form dot error we have this kind of dictionary. Okay, notice first name is field error, email is field error, and all here all is non-field error. Okay, which is came from clean method. Clean method means here inside this clean method you can see here this password does not match is coming from this clean method. Okay, which is a non-field error. So what is inside form dot non-field errors? Suppose your clean method contains this, which is already contains this, and then form dot non-field error contains this error. Okay, so inside this loop, inside this form dot errors, uh, we have basically this dictionary, and inside form dot non-field errors, we have this error, this non-field error, which is came from clean method. And what is inside form when looping? So while looping inside this form, we have fields, this different fields like this in this form. So the loop runs like this. Field is first equal to first name, and second iteration it will equal to last name. So let's suppose in the first iteration field is equal to first name, so first name dot error. Here we are also applying a loop inside loop, so there is a loop inside loop, and for the first iteration field is equal to first name. Okay, field is equal to first name, and for this we are again applying a loop So what is the field dot error means? So field is equal to first name, and first name dot error will include all the error related to that particular field. Each field is bound field is field dot name first iteration. You can see for the first iteration uh, we have this first name. Field is first name. Field is first name. And what is inside field dot errors? So field dot errors. Suppose the user leaves first name empty. Okay, user is leaving first name empty. So the field dot errors for the first name field contains this error. This field is required. This error will be inside here. This first name dot error. Why this first name? Because here uh, inside from this form dictionary we are applying a loop. So for the first iteration the field is equal to first name, and here instead of field let's imagine first name here, and first name dot error will include any error which is happening with that first name field, and that first name field is empty for now. Okay, so the error will be like this field is empty, this field is required. Okay, so that error will be printed. Printed where? Here. Here it will printed. So suppose if the email is invalid, then in second iteration of this it will go to first name. After that first name it will go to last name, and after last name it will go to email. And then if email has some error, if email dot errors has something inside that, so then this error will become that particular uh, error. Okay, so this error is equal to that error, and that will be printed here. That's what is happening in these loops. Non-field error. This non-field error will display this password doesn't match. Why? Because it is non-field error, and it can be only stored in like this form dot non-field error. And for field in forms loops through all these fields. Inside this form, inside this form we have all these fields. Okay, and we are looping on it. So display errors for each field. This field is required enter valid email. All errors will be displayed in this. So if user submit this empty first name, email is ABC, password is 123, and confirm password is different than the previous password. The output could be password doesn't match, which is doesn't matching. Why the first this error is happening? Because we have typed here form.non-field error just before this. So first this non-field error will display, and this field is required error is here first name on the first iteration, and enter a valid email address in the second iteration. Okay, so quick summary is here. Form is basically registration form object in the first place. So form.error will include all form error, field and non-field error. Form.non-field errors errors from clean, it means non-field error. Okay, and field one field from the form. Inside this field we have many fields and we are basically applying a loop on this field. Errors belonging to that specific field, and for field in the form loops through every form field, because inside this form we have all the fields. Okay, this form is here, this one, and inside this form we have all the fields, all these fields inside this form. Okay, so don't get confused. Okay, so I hope you guys have got all the flows, and if you have any query or doubt, just comment down, and I will surely help you to solve your doubts. And one thing we have forget, this register button is not working. So let's make this clickable. I mean, it should go to our registration form. So let's go to, this is inside our navbar. Okay, so just change only the navbar.html. Just remove this href, and here href is equal to URL and URL name of a registration form, where it is here you can find register. Okay, copy this and paste the name. Now it should work. Let's check. So you can see that by clicking on this register button, we are going to this sign up form, registration form. Okay, so let's keep this video until this. Already it is a very long, it has been very long video. So okay guys, see you in the next video. Thank you very much.